Your account got censored by Blue Sky for being rude the other day. What's up, fam of Liberty? And also everyone else who's watching this video who isn't following our channel for some mystifying, unknown, unfathomable reason. It's your new best friend, Big Sarge, the artist formerly known as Admin Tim. I'm the founder of the Sons of Liberty social media organization, which has been steadily enraging MAGA fuckface ass clowns since 2015. If you saw us out in the streets at a protest for the first time, or you're new to our channel, I know what you might be thinking, despite this shirt. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck neo-Nazi, illegal immigrant, and shitty gamer Elon Musk. Fuck GOP politicians. Fuck these limp-dick Democrat politicians that aren't out there fighting for us tooth and nail. And fuck the billionaires, wealth hoarders, that have their fucking boots on the neck of just about every American citizen. Neither this channel nor its comment sections are a safe space for bootlicking simps for a Russian asset, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, Wish.com fascist oligarch, failed insurrectionist, wannabe authoritarian tyrant, or his sugar daddy, the world's biggest supervillain, thin-skinned beta bitch-made cuck man-child from South Africa who can't game that nobody fucking elected. Now you know where I stand on things, so if you're still here and you're not frantically rage-typing into the comments box like a triggered snowflake who's ass mad about me dunking on Elon Musk, then consider following the channel after you watch the video and deciding whether or not you like the cut of my jib. Y'all remember that episode of The Simpsons where Ned Flanders' house gets destroyed in a hurricane and the people of Springfield rebuild it, but it's like Picasso did it with the Three Stooges? Ned Flanders has a nervous breakdown, loses his shit, and goes ballistic on everyone, including Lisa Simpson. He basically says, "Oh, look, it's Lisa Simpson. Springfield's answer to the question no one asked." Lisa Simpson is the Republican Party right now, providing solutions to problems that don't exist. So today we're going to talk about the GOP's decades-long tradition of solving these non-existent problems. They claim something's broken, they call it woke, and then look like the hero by fixing it. The intention here is twofold. A, getting the credit for fixing things that are suddenly an outrage, and B, normalizing non-normal, actually off-the-wall situations. The best current examples are banning litter boxes in schools that were never there because Kaya Reich chick from Libs of TikTok is a Russian asset and therefore tells the GOP what to do. And then also banning trans athletes from participating in sports from elementary school all the way up. One is completely made up and the other is just not a problem to the level of the outrage that's being shown. Because the GOP is mentally challenged, this turns into a slippery slope bullfuckery like banning furries and forcing genital inspections on little children. The party of Save Our Children loves to talk a big game about Joe Biden sniffing children and ignoring pedophiles in its own ranks, its churches, and in its communities. Now all of a sudden they're out in the open declaring that they're going to look down your kids' pants to see what wedding tackle they're packing. The original bathroom bill back in 2017 was a seminal event in this process. Since then, there are oodles of examples, and if you think about it, it's most of what they've been up to in the last few years, especially rather than actually doing anything productive. So let's start with blaming the liberal agenda for depriving parents of their rights in schools and libraries. To be clear, parents have always had rights. They could always see the curriculum and always could be aware of the learning activities that their kid was being taught and opt their children out if they chose to. Many parents were lazy at best, fucking stupid at worst, and chose not to do that, looking at the schools as glorified babysitters. Now, they've been convinced that all of our current societal ills stem from indoctrinating kids in K through 12 public schools. Additionally, librarians are pushing bad books that are making them gay and causing them to get transition surgery in school. Fucking really, Republicans? Then why does reading porn not make me fuck better than I already do? Why doesn't reading the Bible make me Christian? If I read Game of Thrones, will I turn into a badass mercenary who bangs half of Westeros? Can I call dibs on Brienne of Tarth? Fucking hot. Anyway, so the GOP solution has been to attack school administrators and teachers, ban books, and remove professional discretion from teachers and librarians for creating curriculum and supporting materials, instead putting it in the hands of politicians. And you know how fucking dumb that is, right? We're talking weapons-grade stupidity, because these are the same idiots who think that women pee out of their vagina, can stop their period bleeding, and can basically pray away the rape baby. I shit you not. These are things that grown-ass men, many of whom are allegedly educated lawyers, have actually said. So giving them control over our school curriculum results in appearing to the crazies that they look like the moral arbiters wresting control from out-of-control CRT-promoting maniacs. Along with attacking K through 12 education, they're also blaming higher education for creating a culture that they do not understand and they cannot control. Another branch of this tree is to blame higher education and scholars for science that they don't understand. They want everything simple enough for the stupid among us to get it, rather than having trained and educated experts that we can trust not to be manipulated by politics. The result? They tear down and destroy higher education research, refuse to provide assistance for student loans, and the crazies think that it's a victory to smash the elites, own the libs, and be for the working people. See also public school voucher programs. They are playing the biggest blame game by making the idiots think that illegal immigrants and migrants seeking asylum from disasters that we created are the real reason for crime and drugs in this country. They've caused a panic by calling it an invasion, for which the answer is to use wartime powers and deprive immigrants of due process. Most of the fentanyl being brought in is, in reality, brought in by U.S. citizens, but that's not a problem that they want to tackle. The result? Their answer is to throw all the brown Spanish speakers out whilst making a big spectacle of cleaning up the country from the crisis that we're having. They look like patriots. I mean, who in their right mind wouldn't deport people ASAP if they're criminals? Along these lines, they blamed President Biden for the entire immigration mess when actually it's Congress's job to fix it. But I digress. Let's talk about blaming non-white people for aspiring to be more than white society has tried relegating them to be as a result of the fragile ego of mostly white men. Telling the crazies that they're hiring unqualified candidates into jobs because of DEI makes these mediocre white people feel better about eliminating DEI because we all have the same opportunities. Forget about the past. Slavery and Jim Crow were a long time ago. You're just stirring up trouble. Blaming LGBTQ people for everything from permanently injuring athletes to making all of us normal people feel uncomfortable. Any normal person thinks that they're weird and sick, right? The result is to negate the existence of LGBTQ people and try to take away their civil liberties. How about blaming women who desire autonomy for the collapse of the traditional American family? Again, men who fear they're losing control and status in society, trying to convince women that they will be happier if they're married to a man who's in charge and submit to abandoning their own aspirations to basically become a baby factory. The result is, we're going back to what women's purpose really is, which is every conservative church-going man out there basically thinking, you take your clothes off, you receive my penis whenever I want, which is all the time, and when I don't want it, I want you taking care of these babies, making me food, and telling me how awesome I am because I don't get that validation anywhere else. Let's talk about the GOP blaming the poor for being poor and lazy and being a drain on society. We need to restrict the help that people start to depend on and get people to stop being lazy. And the result of that is, let's slash all help for the needy and claim moral superiority by espousing personal responsibility. Meanwhile, half their voter base just lost their benefits, but okay, sure, poor conservative peasants. Tell us more about how Velveeta Voldemort just pwned the libs. How about blaming Biden for the last 4 terrible years, pretending that the economy didn't bounce back greater than it was before COVID, and ignoring that Biden helped reduce government spending and the deficit? Meanwhile, Republicans out there claiming to care about the national debt and the sudden need to cut spending, even in the midst of the booming economy, whilst corporations are posting record profits reports and simultaneously giving a tax cut to the wealthiest 1%, not paying their people what they're worth. Slashed everything in the federal government. The result? Look fiscally prudent, as opposed to those crazy libs, wasting all of our money on their agenda absolutely doesn't benefit everyone, regardless of political views. Meanwhile, Elon Mussolini and the 7 little bastards and douche are racking up tens of millions of dollars in expenses per day, and what exactly have they accomplished besides pissing off a lot of conservatives in addition to the liberals that are perpetually outraged? How about blaming the fall of traditional American values in our country on taking the Bible and Jesus out of schools, though you can go into any school library and find a Bible. And a lot of schools have Bible clubs like the FCA so that they can look like good Christians, though it's probably a violation of the separation of church and state. The result is that we're making America great again by definitely not indoctrinating public school children with religious ideologies. See also, and I'll say this again, public school vouchers. How about citing a mental health pandemic for mass or public shootings whilst blocking reforms to the medical insurance industry, gun reforms, citing research on mental health issues and ending programs that would help provide mental health services for people? The result? We're saving money and suck it up, buttercups. I don't have to pay for your problems. So what are the common themes in all of these supposed crises and outrages with their corresponding conservative fixes? Judging others, creating panic, coming up with catchphrases that the crazies can repeat and feel that they're part of a special club of like-minded, correct, free-thinking people. It's a way of creating a cult. You define a common problem and then create a common language around shared cultural values. In a lot of ways, this is how religion works too. You can tell someone that they're a sinner and then you offer them Jesus as the solution to the sin. You're their hero, and then you craft a language around specific sins. It's really gross when you think about it. But hey, the problem that we told you that you had is solved, even if it's through illegal, unconstitutional, and draconian methods. They have succeeded in making it us, good people, versus them, commie libs in Russia, has been all too happy to assist in sowing this division through social media. They have also succeeded in making their leader seem like the only one who is capable of being successful in saving us all, making, of all the people in the universe, Donald Trump that person, a savior. And that's fucking disgusting to say, but they've done it. Look, we talk a lot about being media literate around here, and this is an opportunity for you to notice what is happening, if you didn't already. When someone creates a problem and then tries to sell you a solution, that is actually a scam, and you need to ask why they're doing it. I'm going to tell you that the answer is power. They want power so that their rich donors can benefit, but we're the ones with the keys to the kingdom, not them. So we need to continue to call out and put our foot on the necks of the politicians in Congress. Time to expand and not just call Congress, but also contact retailers and business owners and chambers of commerce and tell them, if this shit doesn't stop, we're not going to be able to go out to dinner and spend money in your restaurants, your stores, or your other businesses. Bother these people. Make sure that they know that their business is going to be impacted. We drive the conversation, not them. The resistance starts with us. You want to know how you can get involved in the Sons of Liberty resistance movement other than following us on social media? We've organized Sons of Liberty chapters by region and state all across the country. Do not ask me in my comment sections if we have a chapter in such and such state or such region. What you need to do is get on Discord. Rule number 1 of Sons of Liberty Fight Club is that we don't talk about Sons of Liberty Fight Club, except maybe in videos. I have a whole ass video on a subject called OPSEC, which is linked right up there. That stands for Operation Security. And OPSEC is essentially the practice of denying information to your opposition, whoever or whatever that opposition may be. I promote the Sons of Liberty Discord server in almost every single video that I do because that's where our fam of liberty is based. And then that way, conservative social media tech oligarchs like Mark Zuckerberg and Shadow President Elon Mussolini can't deplatform us. They can't mute or censor our content like they did on Blue Sky, which is supposed to be run by libs. On our Discord server, we have region sections that have helpful resources for those regions. In those spaces, you can organize with local fam of liberty. You can learn about practical things such as self-defense courses and find firearms instructors and self-defense instructors who are local to you and who are left-leaning. Learn about your home defense and home security. Participate in firearms discussions with subject matter experts. You can learn about growing your own food in victory gardens and then canning and jarring and preserving that food. And this puts you light years ahead of most prepper idiots who think that they're just going to hoard guns and ammo and then take your shit because they forgot how to do all the other important things. Speaking of preppers, on our Discord, you can figure out your shit hits the fan contingency plans, build first aid kits and bug out bags. You can link up with other fam of liberty members who can lend a hand if you suddenly need to travel for reasons that are your own fucking business. For those of you who don't see our social media posts or videos, even though you follow us, on Discord, you can get updates from our social media, which does make our Discord ping heavy thanks to the webhooks that we use to integrate our various social media notifications. But you can disable those in the channel appropriately named ping roll. If you're having trouble with Discord, I have, linked right up here, this whole ass YouTube tutorial about the Sons of Liberty Discord server. So if you need assistance, start with that video. The invite link to our Discord server is in the Throatpunch at the end of this video and all of our other videos. That invite link is also in the YouTube video description and in the YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions. If you like the shirts, like this one, or the hoodie that I wear in my video, some of them, but not all of them, are available in the Sons of Liberty merch store, provided that Etsy doesn't take me down for upsetting billionaires by supporting the concept of making them afraid again. The merch store is listed in the link tree in our YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions, and it's listed in the video description. I put up new merch all the time, and a lot of these designs and merch get added specifically because you've requested them in our comment sections or you donated them. A couple of days ago, someone asked me about a Fight Like Your Ancestors shirt that has a black soldier. So last night, I banged out a couple of designs using some Civil War photographs of black Union soldiers. I'm not sure which one I like here, so leave me a comment if you like the one on the left or the one on the right, or both. Anyway, I put up a few other shirts this past week, and I finally got a store listing for a Sons of Liberty battle flag, which also makes a good rallying point. You know what would be really funny, though? If you bought a Sons of Liberty flag and then gifted it to your racist Uncle Bobby, since he'll think it's some 3%er shit and be like, hell yeah, America! If you like our video content, we have a whole social media presence on like 14, 15 different platforms, so we would appreciate it if you would follow us on all of our other socials, whichever ones that you may have. The various socials that we have are listed in the Throatpunch at the end of our videos and in the link tree, which can be found on the channel description. On YouTube and TikTok, we'd also appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and get notifications on our channel. It's a little bit of a different process on TikTok, but if you're on TikTok, you already knew that. You can help us extend our reach by sharing our video content on all of your socials. You can go find the relevant Sons of Liberty account on that platform and share the content, including this video, because it's probably there already. You can help us beat the algorithm by leaving us at least 7 words in the comments sections. Why 7 words? Deftones song reference, George Carlin reference, biblical reference, figure it out yourself. You make it up, whatever you want. I give you the answer in other videos that I do, so you can just go watch those and find the spot where I talk about Sons of Liberty social media and the algorithm toward the end. That's my time for today. 2 claps and a Rick. Make fascists afraid again, fam. Woo!
And now it's time for the Throatpunch!
You're just stirring up trouble. Blaming LGBTQ. Did I say that correctly? I feel like I did, but fuck it. That's an anal sex joke. We're gonna try this shit again.